Hello, my amazing artist. Today I'm going to teach you how to paint with markers. So first, write your name and then flip it over. So there are warm colors on the color wheel and there are also cold colors on the color wheel. We're going to start with warm colors. So first, I'm going to place the markers that I have that are warm colors. I have red, orange, and yellow. Then on my paper, I'm going to start creating, which will eventually be a sunset. So I'm going to start with the darkest color, which is red. Red is kind of a bossy color. It likes to take over and cover up other colors. So I'm putting this at the very bottom because that is where the darkest part of my sunset is. And then I'm just coloring in, but I'm using the flat side of my marker and I'm coloring really fast and I'm just laying down some color. Now also, you can see I've made my coloring in kind of the shape of a U. I want you to do that also. This is going to help when we blend the colors. All right, next color is going to be orange. So you're just going to repeat. Again, I'm coloring on the side of my marker. That's what creates these thick lines and strokes. And then when you have finished with the orange, grab your yellow and you're just going to fill in the rest of your paper. You can even put a little bit of yellow on top of the orange, and that will help blend the colors together even more. Or if you feel like adding more orange like I do, you could do that. It's really up to you. All right, and so I just used some washable markers and I used warm colors. And because these are washable markers, they actually really like water. It's like water and these markers are best friends. So all I'm gonna do now is put some water on top of the marker with my paintbrush. And you're gonna see that it starts to actually wake up. It starts to act like paint on your paper. Isn't that so cool? And then as the marker is waking up and acting like paint, you're gonna notice that the colors start to blend together. So the orange and the red and the yellow, they all start to blend together just like a sunset. You could try even tilting your paper and see how the colors now drip and float throughout the paper. It's gonna be really wet, so I'm gonna put it on the drying rack. All right, now let's do our cool or cold colors on the color wheel. So the colors that I have are green, blue, and purple. I'm going to use these washable markers again, but this time just focusing on cool or cold colors. And we're gonna start with the darkest color. This time that is purple. Purple is also kind of a bossy color. It likes to take over. And so we're gonna put that at the bottom. This time we're going to do a sunset sort of idea, but using these cool colors. Next one is we're going to use blue. And just a reminder, make sure you're coloring on the side of your marker and just coloring in kind of a U shape. And that will help when we start to blend. After you're finished filling in your blue, then you can just add your green. And here's the fun part. Get some water, a nice paintbrush. I'm using a really thick paintbrush. That helps apply a lot of water to my paper. The more water you use, the more the marker will wake up and act like paint, and that will cause it to spread easily throughout your paper. To help my colors blend even better, I like to lift it up and let it either drag down or fall up, whichever way I am feeling. And then when you're done, go put it on the drying rack. It's very wet, so hold it with 2 strong hands. While our papers are drying, we are going to draw a silhouette on black paper. Silhouette is just the outline of a shape, and since we're using black paper, we need something white to write with. I'm just using a white oil pastel, and I'm drawing the line that is going to be of a landscape. So this could look like some rocks in the distance, maybe a little mountain range, and then something in the foreground, something that's close to us, is going to be a big cactus. So to start, I'm really just deciding where the 3 cactus are going to be. The first one's going to be the biggest, so it's in the front. And then I'm going to draw arms on my cactus. So since this one is the biggest, I do want to have more detail. I'm going to make the arms on the cactus bigger. And as you are following me, you can absolutely do what I'm doing, or if you have another idea, you could do that also. Now this second one is going to be the furthest in the background, so it's going to be a lot smaller. When we use scale like this and we show how big or how small something is, that shows size, position. It shows that we are now having the cactus go farther back in space. All right, this third one's going to be the one in the middle, so it is going to have to be the medium size. Not so big and not so little, but just right. All right, so as you can tell, I only did the outline, the outside edges of the cactus, and now I'm going to actually cut this out. So this is going to take a little bit of time. And the cool thing about this is you do not have to worry if you cut on the white line or inside the white line. Either way, it's going to be fine because you're actually not going to see this when we're done. So take your time, go slow. You have to twist the paper around like I'm doing when you're cutting. Okay, artists, since we did a cool color painting and a warm color painting, I'm going to show you another silhouette you could draw. So grab another black piece of paper, and I'm using an oil pastel. And again, I'm going to start by drawing this irregular bumpy line, which will look like maybe mountains in the distance. And then this time I'm going to do a different environmental scene. So I'm thinking of doing trees and have this be in like a forest. It'd be a silhouette of a forest. So as you can see, I'm just making little zigzag lines, and that's going to be on one side of my tree. And then I'm trying to match it to be on the other side. And then draw 2 straight lines, and that will be the trunk of the tree. Next, I'm going to draw a much bigger tree. So I'm kind of just using my hand to space where I want it to go. And since this tree is bigger, that's going to make it look like it is in the foreground. It's at the front of the picture and closest to the person looking at it. Again, when we use size and position, we can really create the illusion of space. And so to further my plane, I'm going to draw a really small little tree there. That's going to look like it's way far back in the distance and in the background. Alrighty, and just like last time, now you're going to cut this out. Because this is such an irregular shape, there's a lot of bumpy lines, a lot of jagged edges. It is a little challenging to cut, so just give yourself time and know that it's okay to figure out whatever way works for you. I don't like to cut all of the little details at once. I like to just cut out the main space and then I go back in and cut out the little details. So notice how now I'm going back in and cutting. It really creates almost a triangular shape, and then it just falls right off. So whatever works for you, but remember, you won't see the white lines, so don't worry about that. Alrighty, now that we've cut out our landscapes, look, it creates the silhouette, just the outline of the shape. You could position yours either way. I don't want the white oil pastel to show, so I'm flipping it over, and then I'm going to glue this onto my paper that I had painted. Also, it's totally up to you if you want to put your trees on the warm color background. You are the artist, so decide which one and then let's glue. Something important to notice here is I'm using a stick glue. I used liquid glue for for my other silhouette, and I didn't really like how it looked. So if you have a glue stick, I would use that. It tends to stick better and it doesn't get all bumpy. So try to cover up all of the black paper with glue, and then you're gonna flip it over and apply it to the background. You need to give your glue what's called stick time or grab time. And how you do that is once you put it in the place that you like, use your fingers and you're going to smooth it out. It's like you're giving your silhouette a little massage, and that's actually going to help the glue bind to the paper, and that's going to let it stick flat to the painted paper. Now my silhouette's a little too big. It's stuck out a little, so I just am turning it over and cutting that excess part off, and look, it still looks awesome. And there you go, artists, we are finished. You have created a warm color background with a cactus silhouette and a cold or cool color background with a tree silhouette.